Really? You didn't just finish this?
Oh.
It's like 2 seconds.
Okay.
All right, welcome ladies. My name is Miss Ramsey and we are in our first session together which called I Have a Voice, so let me use it. Remember to speak up too. The purpose and goal of the session is to inform and educate young people like yourselves about the importance of learning the skills needed to communicate with authority figures to get their needs met, okay? So let's start with a couple of house rules first. I don't have very many, but my number one rule is to be respectful of yourself and each other. Make sure that you're an active listener, because if you're not listening in the group, you're not able to kind of have a conversation and communicate with others. And then be an active participant. Everybody okay with those rules? All right, perfect. Everybody okay with those rules?
Yeah.
Everybody's nodding their head. Okay, so we'll start with introductions. All I want is your name and your favorite color, okay?
Oh, it's a hard question.
Is that a hard question?
Yeah.
Okay. Or your favorite 2 colors, if that's too hard. Or a color that you don't like. Okay, so you have to say that. So my name is Miss Ramsey, and my favorite color actually is white. I like the color white.
Why?
I like the color white.
Interesting.
I know, right? This way.
My name is Julissa and I like the color purple.
My name's Simran and I like the color blue.
My name is Caitlin and I like the color blue and green.
My name's Morgan and I like the color red.
Perfect.
My name's Yadira and I like the color red.
Color red. So do we have who likes the same color as you? Okay. Anybody else have similar colors that they like? And one of yours is blue and green. Perfect. All right, so I actually want to start off with a little game with our session today. See the M&Ms in the middle?
Mhm.
Pick a bag, any bag you want. There's no red. Okay, so you guys actually can eat these during our session. So, and if you don't like M&Ms, then play with them. Okay, so you have to answer a question about yourself according to the color that you picked. Okay? All right.
Oh, I have a formed one.
A foreign one?
It's like,
Is this still blue?
yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, who has blue? You have blue.
Yeah.
So, Caitlin, something that you do very well. What's something you do very well?
I don't know. Turning papers on time?
You do that very well?
Yeah.
Okay, turning papers on time. Who has blue or brown? Who's brown?
I do.
Jalissa, what's your favorite subject in school and why?
I like science and I like it because it's about life and then get to learn about life and nature and stuff like that, and chemicals and biology and all that
Okay.
human stuff.
Okay. And who has green? Green, what is the best food you know how to make? If anything.
Chocolate dipped Oreos?
Oh, I can make chocolate Oreos, but I think my eggs are pretty fantastic.
What kind of eggs?
Just scrambled eggs, that's all.
Okay. Who has yellow? Oh, right here. Something you couldn't live without.
Something I couldn't live without.
Yes.
My mom.
Okay. And orange, right there. The furthest place you've ever traveled.
India.
India. Nice.
I'm gonna go next time.
Nice. Okay,
Take
perfect.
me your luggage.
So we all now know who we all are, and we kind of know a little bit about each other. Okay. So earlier today, I had you fill out a communication survey questionnaire, right? And all this is kind of getting an idea for yourself to know how well you communicate with others. Sometimes it's very difficult to communicate with others, and especially depending on who the person is. So just by a raise of hands, how many think that it's pretty easy to communicate with your friends? It's really, really easy, okay? How many think it's really, really easy to communicate with your parents? Okay.
Sometimes, depends on what kind of mood they're in.
Okay. How many think it's really, really easy to communicate with your teachers?
At times.
At times, okay. So everybody raised, see how everybody raised their hand when we said friends?
Yeah.
Because they're comfortable. That's our comfort zone, right? So that kind of makes sense. Okay, so we took a survey questionnaire and there are some questions on there and we're not gonna go through all of them. Anybody wanna share their score? And you don't have to. You wanna share your score?
Which
So,
one?
either one. So tell me your score and what that meant.
The first one I got 2.7, which is needs improvement, and the second one I got 3.9, which is effective communication.
Okay, so when you got a needs improvement on the first one, do you think that's accurate or not accurate?
I don't know. Probably accurate.
Probably accurate, okay. So that, you kind of had two different scores, and one says you need improvement and another one said that you're effective, or,
Yeah.
okay? And so you maybe have a little bit, like, and you kind of did this kind of in the middle
Yeah.
thing, so that's kind of a balance between the two, so that seems pretty accurate. Anybody else want to share their score? Morgan?
For the first one, I got 2.2, which is effective communication skills, and the second one I got 3.5, which is satisfactory.
What's that? Do you think that that's accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? And you don't have to. Okay, so what I'd like to do is talk about what it means to be an effective communicator. Anybody have an idea of what they think that looks like? What's an effective communicator?
Like someone who can just like talk to anyone and not have a problem with it. Like doesn't matter their age or anything. Like
Okay. Anybody else? What's an effective communicator? What does that mean to you? Okay. So hopefully we can figure that answer out by the end of this and then figure out where you fall in that and how to improve your communication skills. And probably not with your friends, but probably with others of authority. Okay? There are several questions, so we'll go to the first section. Can someone tell me which one they circled as the one that they find it difficult to be able to do?
number one.
Number one. So, anybody else circle number one? Okay. Number two. Anybody circle number two? Number three? 4? Okay. 5? 6? 7? Okay, just raise it. 7? 8? 9? Okay. And 10. Okay. So that just shows that everybody has kind of their different issues when it comes to communicating. So let's go, which other one did you circle? Number 2. So, Jalissa, which one did you circle?
4.
Number 4. So is everybody okay with talking about number 4 for a little bit? So number 4 says, when I'm negotiating with someone, I view them as an opponent. When I'm negotiating with somebody, I view them as an opponent. What does that mean to you?
For me, like you're going against them
Okay.
when you're talking to them. Like when you're in an argument, like it's up to who's going to win. Like you want to win them in the argument.
And do you feel like you do that?
No, I hardly even do it. I would just leave it how it is.
Okay. So do you have an issue with that one? Is that one hard?
No, it's just sometimes they try to bug me. Like they try to communicate with me, like trying to fight back, and I just like no. So I don't know. Argue with you.
Okay. Speak up too, okay. Morgan, which one did you choose?
9 and 10.
9 and 10. So why did you choose 9? And can you tell us what that one says?
It says effective communication can be achieved simply by taking turns talking. And it's not really my issue. I mean, it kind of is, but like when I have this experience with like my sister. We used to be able to communicate and take turns, and now she thinks that I just override her. So she tries talking when I'm not done, which kind of makes me mad. So then I try talking, but then I realize I'm doing the same thing she's doing.
Okay. And how do you, so that's good that you recognize that, and so how do you improve on that?
And just let her talk.
You just let her talk? And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes it's okay because not everybody has equal amount of communication skills. And if you understand what it means to be heard and be understood, sometimes you have to step back and allow that person to just say what they're going to say. Because if they're over talking you, they probably want to be heard. And if you're a good communicator, you should know that sometimes people just want to be heard, and you have to allow them their time. And then she's younger than you, right? So sometimes that just might come with age and say, you know what, I'm just going to let you talk. and let you, get out what you need to get out. So that's good that you actually recognize that and then find a solution to the problem. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing that you just stop. Because sometimes, even in the midst of things, we just need to stop and listen. Okay, which other one did you circle? 10. Read that one.
When I'm locked in an argument with someone, I view them as an opponent, and I think in terms of win, lose.
Do you think that way?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Only in an argument, like in terms of like negotiating, I don't.
Okay.
But in an argument, yes.
So you think about it in terms of losing and winning. When you're communicating, is that the purpose at the end, or a loser and a winner? It's not. What is the purpose at the end when it comes to communicating? What's the purpose of communicating with someone?
To come to terms.
Okay, to come to terms with what?
Whatever situation is going on.
Okay, does it mean that it's your way? Okay, does it mean that it's their way? So what way should it be? If it's not their way and it's not my way, which way should it be?
I feel like when you're communicating, you should come to a mean or a middle, and
Your math language came out, huh?
yeah, kind of give like both of the people something that they want, but they're also gonna have to sacrifice something in order to come to an
Compromise.
agreement.
Okay, so compromise. And these are all the things that we have to remember when we're communicating with someone. It's not just about winning and getting our way, because when you're having a conversation with somebody and you're in a disagreement, they have something that they want too, right? We don't think about that in the moment, but if you're having a disagreement, like if I say, I want to go to the movies and we want to see, what's the latest movie out right now? I don't know.
I don't even know.
Anybody know the latest movie out? Or a good movie that you've seen? Nobody goes to the movies?
Go with the Notebook.
The Notebook?
Yeah. Never
Okay,
seen it.
I've never seen that either, but it's
It's
okay.
okay, we can watch it together. Go.
Okay, we can watch it together.
Okay.
So the Notebook. So if you want to see the Notebook and I want to see the Notebook, is there any communication that needs to be done? Is there, right? So there's no winner, there's no loser. It doesn't matter. But when we have a difference of something, when you want to see the Notebook and I want to see X-Men because I'm an X-Men fan, you're trying to convince me, but at the same time, I have my own perspective of what we should see. So remember, when you're in an argument or you're in communication or anything, and somebody's talking back at you, there's something that they are trying to give off to you, but we're always thinking about what it is that we're trying to, but me. But you gotta remember that there's another part to the other part of the communication, okay? Yadira, which one did you pick?
I chose number 7.
Number 7, can you read that one for us?
When I'm not sure about what someone is saying to me, rather than ask questions, I'll wait to learn more.
What do you think about that, and why did you pick that one?
Sometimes I find that difficult because when someone's explaining something to me, if I don't understand it, like right away I'll like raise my hand and try to like clear it out
Okay.
so I can follow them through the rest.
Okay.
Most of the time I'm a little impatient when it comes to that.
Okay. So this question is actually a little bit tricky, and you actually are doing right. You don't want to interrupt a person, but the question is asking, when I'm not sure about what someone is saying, rather than ask questions, I wait to learn more. So you actually ask questions, which is what you're supposed to do. You're always supposed to ask questions to clarify what a person is really trying to say if you don't understand something. But you said sometimes you kind of jump in before they can even talk. Some people won't even, they'll say what they have to say, they'll stop, and then they won't even, they won't say anything more. So there is no waiting, so you need to ask questions, right? Because if you don't understand something, you want to make sure that you totally understand what it is that they're talking about, okay? Simran, which one? Oh, sorry, you had another one.
Oh, okay.
You had another one.
I become impatient with people who do not express their thoughts and opinions clearly.
Is that true for you? So is that never, not often, sometimes, often, or always?
I chose sometimes.
Okay.
I feel like if someone has their own opinion or thoughts, they should express them. So when I ask them, like, how do you feel about this? They're like, I don't know. Like, do you not have, like, an opinion or something?
So does that frustrate you, or does that, because that's what
Yeah.
does that kind of,
Sometimes I become impatient.
okay,
They should have, like, their own opinion and let it be heard.
okay. Anybody have any thoughts about that, what she just said? Anybody, or do you feel